This is Lisa Tucker, host of The Book Cover, which showcases local literary personalities. So listen to The Book Cover on the borderline. And remember, don't judge a book by its cover. Hi, you're listening on The Borderline. This is The Book Cover, and I'm Lisa Tucker. Today I have my special guest, first-timer, Makayla Webkamigad. Makayla, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I hope so. Well, if the name sounds familiar, it's because your mom is one of my co-hosts on the Superior View podcast, and that's how I kind of became aware of you, because your mom is very, very proud of you, you think. So you are a writer, and you write poetry. How long have you been writing poetry?
Oh my goodness. I would say definitely since high school. So a little bit of background.
Yeah.
I'm 30 years old. I turned 30 this year. So probably about 15 years ago, in whatever English class that I was in, that's probably where it started for me. I really liked the use of language and how you can kind of manipulate words to make them mean one thing and another. And it really stood out for me in that way. So that's kind of where I started.
Did you have a favorite English teacher that sort of pushed you in that direction?
Not really. I feel like all of my teachers were pretty fond of my writing when they did get to read it. Always been big into writing papers. Even when I went into post-secondary, writing was always my strong suit.
So it was a natural progression.
Yes.
Through.
Yeah.
Now, I love this part of your story. You have inherited, and you work this into your poetry. You have inherited, I don't know if you call it the activism gene or this responsibility to activism. You've inherited this. I think it's your grandmother. Now, did it go further than your grandmother?
Yeah. I want to say that it's probably been in my lineage for a long, long time.
Few generations, longer than that even.
But my grandma on my mom's side, so my maternal grandma, she did a lot of work in activism, and she was very well spoken. She was known for the way she spoke, how she spoke, the things that she said, the amount of people that she, reached for doing that kind of work. And then my mom was raised in it. And then, of course, subsequently myself. So it kind of just, I guess, in a way, the road was kind of paved for me, but I definitely took my own route to getting there. In this, the poetry aspect of it, there are other poets in my family, my Uncle Byron and my grandpa on my mom's side as well. He is also wonderful with words. And it wasn't until more of that influence from my grandpa and my grandma kind of helped me to almost guide my path towards the activism through writing.
It's almost like it comes to you. It would have to come to you naturally, because you don't just do activism, you live it.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
Yes.
And it's part of your family culture for activism. And of course, if you're wondering what kind of activism, it's activism to promote indigenous life, indigenous culture, indigenous respect, indigenous fairness. Would you say those words were accurate?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that being an Indigenous woman in today's day and age, we talked about having that kind of sense of responsibility to those next generations, making sure that I'm using my voice in the way that I know how, so through writing, through poetry, continuing to tell our story as Indigenous people to those next generations. And I believe that a way for people to understand certain things, sometimes when you read it and you hear it and you have those words that, they kind of touch your heart, sometimes people understand those things a little bit more. And so, I really tried to kind of hone in my because for me, writing was definitely an outlet for lots of things, right? Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
And as it is for lots of people, just like reading is, right? And so I decided to kind of use, my passion for activism, my passion for sharing my culture and sharing those teachings and all of those things that make me who I am, but also using that talent to reach those next generations and to tell the story as best as I can.
Yeah, and I've spent, I think it's almost 4 years now with your mom every Tuesday. So I just, even as you're talking, I see a lot of your mom in you. And I've always marveled at your mother because she's never told me, I ask her a million questions because I want to learn. And she's never said, listen, it's not my job to teach you. She, and it's not her job to teach me. It's my job to learn, but it's not her job to teach me. But she is so gracious. She answers all my questions. She, even if they're stupid, she doesn't tell me they're stupid, which is very kind of her. But I see a lot of your mom in you.
I can definitely think that piece that you're talking about, that, that, not really sure if you can be asking questions or anything like that. That is definitely one of the things I have to give a shout out to my grandma, Beatrice Shawanda. She definitely has raised my mom, obviously, and myself with that teaching of when you hold the information and there are people who are asking for it, there's no reason why you wouldn't share it, right? Especially if people are coming to you in a good way and they're genuinely they want to understand so that they can respect it even more.
And that's why I think that your mom knows the intention. Like, I'm not asking because I'm ignorant. I'm not asking, and that's the thing. It's the intention 100%. That I really am interested in knowing. I don't know how many times I say, the indigenous got it going on, because everything from cultural, their spiritual beliefs, their belief, their connection to the land. It's all, I'm all for it. I'm for it. Anyway, so now I want to talk about your piece, For My Nieces.
Yes.
Now, did this start with somebody asking you to write something, or you wrote it and then somebody got interested in it?
Yeah, actually. So it kind of started a few years before For My Nieces was even written. Back in 2019, so right before COVID happened, I was a student at Algoma University, and I was doing my degree in social work and had a minor in Anishinaabe studies. And at the time, they were planning for the National Building Reconciliation Forum, which was going to be held at Algoma University, and Shingwak Kinwagegamick was a partner in that. So I had wrote a poem and I had just posted it on Facebook. And it was about my grandma, so my grandma B. It was about her story and the things that she experienced, being a residential school survivor, carrying that intergenerational pain and understanding it now as her granddaughter, and seeing how that time in her life also still affected mine. And so it ended up reaching a pretty big audience, and lo and behold, a few years later,
after all the craziness of 2020,
after I actually had got asked to read it at the forum back in 2019, and somebody who was in the audience had heard it. And then years later, after COVID and everything, I was contacted by one of my friends, actually, from the Sioux Public Library. And somebody way across in Saskatchewan was trying to figure out how to get a hold of me, because they worked for the National Center for Truth and Reconciliation. And they decided that they wanted to approach me to write a piece for their new classroom resource. They put out a classroom resource every year for teachers to pull from, for students to read, everything like that. And they asked if I would be willing to write a piece for them, for that specific thing.
So they loved what you already had to say.
Yes.
They loved the I guess the brand, if you wanted, whatever, marketing, and they loved it, and they wanted you to write something else. So did they give you the parameters, or did they just say?
They said, this is how many characters max you can use. This is who we're going to be working with to do the artwork for it. This is who else is going to be used as resources in this book that we're creating. But they gave me full, complete,
that's nice.
Complete creative control over what I wanted to write. They just wanted to make sure, because it was for National Truth and Reconciliation Commission, they wanted to make sure that it was within the lines of we want to share even more of our story as Indigenous people, but we want to do it with children who are anywhere between the ages of, grade 1, grade 2, all the way up until grade 12. And if you could just do it in a way that people can understand, at any age group. And I honestly think that was probably the scariest part.
Yeah, because you want it to be interesting to a grade 12 student and interested to a grade 1 student.
Yes, exactly. And to use the language that both will understand, right? Because there is a big difference there.
And was this book that the National Center for Truth and Reconciliation, is it for Indigenous children, white children, all children, everybody
across Canada?
Love it.
They were allowed to receive copies. I know here in Sault Ste. Marie, we actually reached our quota of how many copies were allowed to be in our area because I had so many teachers who wanted the hard copies of it.
Oh, how wonderful. That's wonderful to hear.
Yes, so it went all across Canada. So
that how proud you must be to have something that really, I mean, I'll tell you the way I see it. You didn't just write this on your own. You wrote it with your mother, with your grandmother, with her grandmother. This is not just a single author piece because of where it's coming from.
100%. And the contents of it, the positioning that I came from while I was trying to write it, every single person, doesn't matter if you're Indigenous or non-Indigenous, everybody has somebody in their life that they know cares about them. Maybe that they feel safe around, that they feel loved, that when, if they were to go to anyone when they're feeling uncomfortable or sad or whatever, somebody has that in their life. And I wanted to make sure that I was telling this story of our people, Indigenous people, to everyone. It could be somebody who is non-Indigenous and it's their first year in Canada, or it could be somebody who is, a little Indigenous girl who never understood how come her family is the way that it is. And it was really an opportunity for me to, not only continue the work that my grandma has done, that my mom has done, but also to tell that story to the next generations. My nieces, I now have 4 of them.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, I have a new little one in Toronto.
Any nephews?
No nephews yet. We have 4 girls now.
Go. Who runs the world?
Yes, exactly.
Love it.
But also that, that responsibility of sharing with that next generation so that they also hold that whole story of where we came from and the story that I hold. And traditionally for Indigenous people, we can even talk about the traditional roles that we had within our communities. Before your ancestors met my ancestors, there was such celebrated roles, and the role of an auntie was like the second mom, the best friend, the sister, the confidant, everything that you could imagine. And for those of us who have nieces and nephews, I know you feel that in your heart when I say that, because even nowadays we still feel those things for our nieces and nephews. So
I was an auntie before I was a mother.
Yep.
So I remember, so I have 4 nephews.
Oh, wow.
No nieces. So I have 4 nephews. And when I became a mother, I only had the 1 nephew still. And I remember asking my mother, I was pregnant with my first, will I love my child as much as I love Liam? Because he was my nephew and I just loved him so much. And I remember her saying, oh, honey, you have no idea. And I get that now that I'm a mother. But as an auntie, and I'm non-Indigenous, but I take my role as auntie very seriously. I want to make sure that my nephews know that if they have a problem that they can't go to their parents for, come to me.
Come to auntie.
Come to auntie, because auntie does not make judgments, and auntie helps.
Yes.
And auntie's a safe place.
100%.
So I understand, the importance of being an auntie. I love it. So anyway. Yes. Continue on, because I love I love the whole auntie thing.
Yeah. So for me, I don't have any children of my own. So this role of being an auntie, and also it kind of talks about the ways that this trauma and residential school and all of these horrible interruptions, as my mom likes to call them, happened in our lifetime as Indigenous people. Still being able to celebrate that role that I have with my nieces, but also understanding how those times did affect me and how I will change how they affected me and make sure that they don't affect my nieces and someday nephews and someday children in the same ways it did for me. And honestly, the way I feel like that can happen is by being educated about what goes on in our families, what goes on with our people, and trying to understand our own history, because when we can do that, that pain that we have, it no longer, holds us. Yeah. Now we can understand where it comes from. And so that responsibility that I feel to my nieces, to that next generation, and not only just to my nieces, even though this was written in that perspective, but to the next generations in general. Yeah.
Now, sorry, I'm just going to interrupt you. Okay. Remind us, how many generations is believed to be affected by residential school trauma?
So we say 7 generationally. Anything that we do right now will affect 7 generations.
So that now. It wasn't originated with the residential school trauma. It's with the teachings.
Yes,
okay.
Everything we do. Yes. And so when you think about what happened with residential school, and that was generations itself, right? It wasn't just a 5-year period. It wasn't just one generation of grandparents. There are families that I know that had that for 7 generations in their family itself. Their grandparents, their great-grandparents, their great-great-grandparents.
Imagine the power that trauma has over them.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, to try and do my best with what I have, and to continue on that legacy, not just the legacy of residential school and all of those traumatic things that happen, but the strength that we have and the love that we still have and all of the beautiful things that make us Indigenous people, and how we are so much more than just that trauma.
And even the fact that and I talk about this all the time. Anytime we bring up anything about residential schools and how we were taught in the 70s, I talked to your mom about this quite a bit. And, going from knowing absolutely nothing in elementary school, like I went to elementary school here, we were taught nothing except for long boats and the different longhouses? No, were they longhouses? Yeah. And the boats. Yep. Or canoes. That's all we learned. Yep. We did not learn anything else. But now in schools, we're learning so much more, and it's a testament to the resiliency and the strength of the culture, the Indigenous culture, the Indigenous people, that you can go from a time where your culture, your religion, your spirituality was all but wiped out. And now you're on the rise, and you're coming back, where places that have really nothing to do with Indigenous will say a land acknowledgement, because it's out of respect for this strength and this resilience. And, I'm thankful that I'm here at a time where I can see this, and I'm raising I can see the change. I can see the knowledge growing about the Indigenous. And I mean, it still blows me away that there's, your mom has told me a couple of stories, the racism. It blows my mind, because we are here as your guest. You were here first, and you say, when my people met your people were here greeting my people. Your people were here already. And so, the people that treat you badly because of your history, because of the color of your skin, because of your tradition, listen, you were here first. Anyway, yes. I always say that, and I just always want to say that to put it out there. But what I want you to do, so For my nieces. Now, I want you to read it for us because I've read it. So I want you to take some time and read it for us.
Okay. All right. This is called For My Nieces. Come here, my girl. Sit. Let Auntie tell you a story. The story of our people, the ones who came before me. When I was little, Grandma would tell me of what it was like to grow up on the farm. She shared adventures of wild horses, climbing apple trees, and spoke in the language to my heart. Bedtime stories stitched together with lessons like a star quilt wrapped with a warm hug. This was the way she quietly shared her love. She told me of some of her favorite things, feeling the earth beneath her feet and hearing the birds sing. Come here, my girl. Sit. Let Auntie braid your hair. Let me share with you our beautiful language, teachings, ceremonies, and prayers. As I grew, Grandma would braid my hair. While I tied my moccasins, the teachings she would share. She said that we come from the stars, water, moon, sun, earth, and trees. We are a part of it all, even the animals, insects, and leaves. Creator gave us a special job, and battles were fought to keep it. Someday I would understand, and it would be my turn to teach it. Come here, my girl. Sit. Let Auntie hold your hand. I have something else to tell you. Another part of our story, and this is important too. Grandma told me when she was small, she was taken to a cold place where she felt no love at all. She said that they tried to take the beautiful things her grandma gave her. They took her braids, her language, her moccasins, and her brothers. Years went by, and when she finally went home, things were different. She felt lost sometimes and knew love, but didn't know how to express it. Come here, my girl. Sit. Auntie has a lot to share with you. I want you to know in our story there is pain, but also wisdom and strength too. As Grandma told the stories that were hard to hear, I learned that she was a warrior as a child and had to face many fears. A story you may now learn about in school, wear an orange t-shirt for, and hear about on the news. These stories, just like your language, braids, and moccasins, are also a part of you. A story of our people's children and a truth that was not allowed to tell. A story of your grandma's life, and maybe your friend's grandma as well. Come here, my girl. Sit. Auntie still has a few more teachings to give you. You are everything Creator meant you to be, and someday this job will pass to you. Come here, my girl. Sit. Auntie says it's time to heal. Grandma told me these things to share with you because it's okay for you to feel. You were born of these gifts given to you by Creator, and through you, it will now pass on and continue. Someday you will pass on the language, songs, ceremonies, and traditions. You will braid your niece's hair and pray for all the wondrous things you wish them. Come here, my girl. Sit. Let Auntie share with you one more thing. Grandma said when you feel lost or when you are sad, go to creation. Listen to the birds sing. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Smudge and use your teachings. Come here, my girl. Stand up tall. Auntie, Grandma, and all of your ancestors stand behind you, and we will never let you fall. Come here, my girl. Auntie will give you a hug, because even though we carry sadness, we also carry love.
You know, it brings tears to my eyes listening to that. It's I remember the first time I read it. Of course, your mom introduced me to your writing. And the first time I read it, I thought, there's nothing like this. Like there's, you're speaking from so many different emotions. Like it speaks on being proud of your traditions. It speaks of the pain of having these traditions taken away. And then it speaks of sort of reinventing and going back to those. And there's so many, you know, as a mother, there's that one, I don't know if it's a movie or a TV show. They were showing some of the children being taken away in the 60s scoop.
Mm-hmm.
And as a mother, if anybody ever came and took my children because they thought it was best for them and anybody could love them better than I could, that would be a turning point in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I would never be normal again, you know? And, wow, that's it. It's so beautiful for my nieces. It's wonderful. So, in the National Center for Truth and Reconciliation, it's a book that's sent out to whatever teacher wants it across Canada.
Yeah, it's also available online. If you were to go to, I think it's Canada's History. If you were to just Google For My Nieces, it will pop up. It is available online. There's also a teaching guide to help teachers teach from the perspective after they read the poem with their classes, and how to kind of deconstruct it to understand, you know, this stanza versus this stanza. And so it was actually really amazing to see that happen.
Did you have input into the teaching?
Yeah.
Component?
They asked me what I would be comfortable with, and for my belief in education and, you know, trying to make sure that people hold as much information as they can, I 100% was fine with, as long as my name is attached to it, you are more than welcome to share it with whoever, however you need to.
Yeah.
Because I really truly believe that even though it's my words and I am speaking from my story, it's a story that so many of my people carry, you know, so many,
yes,
if not almost all of them. So yeah, I just really wanted, you know, my words to be said. And I feel like with that poem, that is probably one of my favorite ones that I've written. I have written a lot, but that is probably one of the favorites.
It's pretty powerful. Now, when I see it online, there's graphics
yes.
with this, and I notice the serpent or the snake.
It's actually
Tell us what they all mean. Oh, it's hair.
It's hair.
Oh, it's not a serpent. Yeah. It's braided hair.
It's braided hair, and so in the book, when it opens, you actually see how the braided hair, kind of surrounds all of the words, and the man who. His name is escaping me right now, but the one who did the artwork for the book, he did the whole, every piece of artwork that is in that book. And every single one the picture kind of tells the story itself, right? So there's a picture of a moccasin, there's a thunderbird, there's a little picture of a house or a school, which could have been, you know, the representation for a residential school. But yes, that main picture is a woman with her hair braided, and her braid goes around through all of the words.
Almost like it goes through the generations.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I had asked your mother the significance. I came, it was June, I think, and it was National Indigenous History Month. And I came with my hair braided on purpose because I wanted to remember to ask her what the significance of the braid is traditionally. Can you tell us that?
Yeah, for sure. So we believe that mind, body, and soul is each one of those strands. And when they're all formed together, that's when we are our strongest.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I love that.
Yeah, and there's even more teachings depending on where you go. We're all so different amongst our beautiful tribes. There's lots of different teachings out there, but there's also teachings about the parting, when you're parting your hair, and that's, you know, our hair is an extension of our soul. That's what we believe, an extension of our spirit. So our hair is very, very sacred to us, and that's why a lot of our times our boys carry that long hair out of respect for the women in their life, out of respect for Mother Earth. And yes,
I love it. I love that in the Indigenous culture and spirituality, everything, it's mindful. Everything means something.
Yeah, everything is done with intention. Everything is done with intention.
From the beads on a dress, to the feathers, to the songs, to the beats, to the everything is done with intention. Everything has a story. Actually, I didn't share too much on this episode, but I'm in the school boards right now, and we actually talk about
my specific reason that I go into the school board and help these teachers is with storytelling. And when I'm advertised to do storytelling, lots of people think, oh, she's just going to come in and tell little stories. But I actually share all of our history. I talk about our sacred items. I talk about our dancing, our songs, our language itself. Every single thing that we do and thing that we have tells a story, has a story.
Yes.
And so I really believe that I'm trying my best to hold up my responsibility that I have, not only to myself and to the generations that I come from, but also to the next generations, and to hopefully helping, 7 generations from now, there's going to be a little bit more healing that has happened. So.
Well, I can certainly see why your mother's so proud of you. What a great thing. And I really hope that that you get to be included in more of this. I hope that other beautiful Indigenous storytellers, Indigenous artists, Indigenous creative people can get more into the mainstream of schools and education, so we can put it back into mainstream, to learn why it's important that we don't pick out an Indigenous child and racist comments and why we don't do this, and you have that empathy for the history, and I really hope, and I mean, you and your mother are, it really makes me think what I do with my time because between you and your mother, and I don't know your grandmother, but I've heard she was a wonderful, she's still with us.
She's still
I hear she's a wonderful woman, and so I mean, I'm proud to say that I know you both. What a wonderful piece. So the poetry piece is called For My Nieces. It can be found in the National Center for Truth and Reconciliation book. Now, if they want it free, we've already gotten.
Yes,
the teachers already got
the hard copy books. They don't have those anymore, but it's available online.
Yeah.
Let me go and see really quick what that is.
Sure. Just in case there are any teachers or any people at all that want to share this with their classroom, with their children, with their families. They might be interested in this.
So it is on canadashistory.ca. And you will find it. It comes with a lesson plan in both English and in French. The poem also comes translated in French, I believe. But yes, it has a little bit of background on who I am, where I come from. You can see the PDF version of the book if you want to go and have a look through to see what other writers are in there, or anything else that's in that book. But yes, it has, you are more than able to and welcome to use it.
Beautiful.
And share it. And
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was an honor for me to have you on and have you talk about this. I've been excited all summer because we booked this months ago. Long time ago. Well, you Webkamigads, I got to book you ahead of time because you're so busy. Anyway, thank you so much, Makayla. I appreciate it. We've been talking to Indigenous writer Makayla Webkamigad on her Canada-wide known piece, For My Nieces. Read it, feel it. It's a wonderful thing. You've been listening to The Book Cover on The Borderline. I'm Lisa Tucker, and remember, don't judge a book by its cover.
Auntie, Bojo. My name is Makayla Webkamigad, poet and author of For My Nieces, a love letter of truth written for the National Center for Truth and Reconciliation. If you'd like to read and learn more about it, it can be found on canadashistory.ca. If you'd like to learn more about the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, you can visit www.nctr.ca.